Welcome to the channel. I trust that you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial on how to trade on the Binance Futures Exchange. To start things out, I'll cover the trading fees, then I'll show you how to transfer your coins internally from your spot account into your futures account. From there, I'll get you familiar with the user interface, where I'll show you how to place trades using limit orders, market orders, and how to set up a stop loss. All of that and more, with some tips and tricks along the way. If this is your first time signing up on Binance, I've left a link for you in the description of this video, as well as in the pinned comment down below. If you sign up using that link, you'll save 5% on all your trading fees permanently. You'll also be supporting this channel at no extra cost to you, so thank you very much in advance if you choose to do that. If you're an absolute beginner to Binance, I do have a step-by-step beginner tutorial, and I'll leave a link for that video in the description down below. In that video, I covered things like how to buy crypto using fiat, how to deposit coins, and other basic functions. If you're brand new, I would suggest checking out that video first and then coming back and watching this one. This tutorial is a lengthy tutorial, so I left some timestamps in the description of this video down below. Feel free to skip ahead to a chapter that might be most relevant to you. I'd also like to let you know that this is not a sponsored video and it's not financial advice. It's for educational purposes only. So if you get some value out of this, don't forget to leave me a like and hit subscribe. Let's get into the video. Before we get moving with this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to toggle Binance between light and dark mode. To do that, come up here to the top right hand side of the screen. You'll see a little moon icon. If you give it a click, Binance will go into dark mode. If I click that again, Binance will go back into light mode. I prefer dark mode, so I'll be using that for the duration of this tutorial, but certainly choose your preference. Let's start out with the fees and how you can save on your fees. Your fees can be found right down here on your dashboard where it says trading fees. If you're not on your dashboard, you can get here by coming up to your profile icon and then select dashboard from this drop-down menu. Let's go ahead and click on trading fees. And this, of course, brings us over to the trading fees. Now, if you used my link when signing up, you're going to save 5% on all your trading fees permanently. You can get an additional discount on your trading fees by using BNB coin. For example, you'll see right here under spot trading fee that you can get an additional 25% discount for using BNB coin. For futures over here, you can see that you'll get an additional 10% discount for using BNB coin, but you will need to transfer the BNB from your spot account into your futures account, and I do cover how to transfer coins in this tutorial. You can see the current USD margin futures trading fees right down below here. Current maker fee of 0.02%. So that's if you're going to be placing limit orders onto the order book. And you can see the current taker fee of 0.04%. And that's if you're going to be executing market orders. And I do cover both order types and demonstrate them in this tutorial. And over here, we can see the current coin margin futures trading fees. Current maker fee of 0.01% for limit orders, and the current taker fee of 0.05% for market orders. Additional information on fees can be found down below here. Now, it's always a good idea to come over to this page and check out what the current fees are. They could be different by the time you're watching this video. Let's head back to the dashboard. Come up to the profile icon and select dashboard from the drop-down menu. Before trading futures, we'll have to transfer funds from our spot account into our futures account. Now, if you're brand new to Binance and you haven't deposited crypto yet, or you haven't bought any using fiat and you need to know how to do those things, I do have a Binance step-by-step beginner tutorial, and I'll leave a link for that video in the description down below for anyone that might find that helpful. I would suggest checking that video out first and then coming back to this one here. To transfer funds, we'll come up here on the top right-hand side to Wallet, and let's select futures from this drop-down menu. And this will bring us to an overview of our futures account. In my case here, you can see that I'm currently set to the USD margin account. So if I was looking to trade BUSD or Tether, where all profits and losses get settled in a stable coin, I would need to fund this account with BUSD or Tether. If you're looking to fund your coin margin futures, where all profits and losses get settled in the underlying asset, you'd click right here on coin margin and you'd fund this account with the coin that you're looking to trade. Remember, all profits and losses will be settled in the underlying asset when using these futures. I'll go ahead and demonstrate first using USD margin. To transfer some coins into this account, we'll come down here where it says assets. We'll give that a click. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate with BUSD. So I'm going to come down to BUSD. Then over here on the right-hand side, I'm going to click on the transfer button. Then we'll get a little pop-up window here that's letting us know we're transferring from fiat and spot into our USD margin futures account. Here we can see the coin that we're looking to transfer in, and we can see the available balance of that coin in our spot wallet. So we can type in a custom amount here, or you can click on max to send in everything. And once you have this set up the way that you want it, you just simply click on confirm. And as you can see, I've now transferred BUSD into my USD margin futures account. And this works the same for coin margin. So if we come up here and click on coin margin, we'll come down here to assets, give that a click. Then we'll select the asset that we wish to transfer in. So I'll go ahead and scroll down to Bitcoin. Here it is right here. Let's come over here on the right-hand side, click on transfer. We'll get our transfer form here from fiat and spot to coin margin futures. And I'll just go ahead and click on max, confirm. And as you can see, I've transferred the Bitcoin into the coin margin futures account. Now that we've funded the futures account, we're ready to trade on the futures market. To get there, we'll come up here to derivatives. And for this demonstration, I'll go ahead and select the USD margin futures. If you're going to be trading the coin margin futures, you just click on this link right here. And here's the user interface where all the trading happens. The first thing we need to do is choose the pairing that we wish to trade. You'll see over here at the top of the chart that I'm currently set to BTC versus USDT, but I don't have any tether in my futures account. I transferred in BUSD, so I need to make sure that I'm using the correct pairings. If we come down here to this little drop-down menu, you can see that Binance has already lined me up with the BUSD pairings. That means all these pairings down below are quoted in BUSD. Simply click on the pairing that you wish to trade, or you can search for it in the search bar. I'll go ahead and select Bitcoin. Now you can see that I'm set up to trade BTC versus BUSD. In the event that you have both Tether as well as BUSD in your futures account, you can toggle between market types by just simply coming up here where it says USD margin. And as you can see in this drop-down menu, you can select your USDT perpetuals by clicking on any one of these pairings over here, and you can see your BUSD perpetuals right here. And of course, just click on the pairing that you wish to trade. So pretty easy to toggle between BUSD as well as Tether. And here we have our price action chart, which is showing us the asset's performance over a selected time frame. You can see in my case here that I'm currently set to a daily time frame. That means each one of these candles represents 1 day of trading. You can change the time frame by just simply clicking on the time frame that you wish to trade. So if we want a 4 hour, we'd give that a click. Now each one of these candles represents 4 hours of time. If you wish to view additional time frames, you can click this tiny little arrow right here. It'll become a drop-down menu, and here's where you can find additional time frames. You can even edit your favorites list of time frames as well. So if you click right here where it says edit, simply put a check mark next to the time frame you wish to watch. So if we want a 12 hour, we'd give that a click. Let's just imagine we want a 30-minute, we'll click on that. Then we'll go ahead and click on save. And as you can see, I've updated my favorite time frames at the top of the chart here. The first thing I like to do with the price action chart is toggle it into trading view. If you come up here to the top right hand side, you'll see it's currently set to original. But if we click on trading view, now the chart's powered by trading view. This means you'll have access to some drawing tools as well as some basic indicators from trading view. You'll find your drawing tools over here on the left-hand side of the chart. And if for some reason yours aren't showing, you'll notice there's a tiny little arrow at the bottom left-hand side. You'll notice that I just clicked it, it hid the drawing tools. If I click it again, it'll expand and show the drawing tools. Beside each drawing tool is another tiny little arrow. If you give that a click, it'll expand into a drop-down menu where you can find even more drawing tools. You can also build a tab of all your favorite drawing tools by simply highlighting the star next to the drawing tool that you wish to save. So let's go ahead and add trend line to favorites. Let's come back over here and maybe add a horizontal like so. And we'll do a Fibonacci retracement. We'll come down here. I'll go ahead and add a brush. I'll be using that later in the tutorial. And let's go ahead and add a rectangle. Now, as you can see, I've built a little tab here with some of my favorite drawing tools in it. You can drag this wherever you want on the chart. If you wish to add a drawing tool to the chart, you can simply click on it from your drawing tools over here or from your favorites tab. So let's go ahead and add a horizontal by left clicking. Then we'll bring it over to the chart, left click again. As you can see, I added the horizontal. And if we want a trend line, I could give that a click. Then I'm going to left click on anchor point number 1, drag the trend line, and then left click again on anchor point number 2. If at any point you want to remove your drawing tools, just click on the drawing tool you wish to remove. A little tab pops up where you can adjust its settings, and there's a little trash icon. You can click on it, or you can right click on the drawing tool, come down to remove, and it's gone. We can also adjust the volume panel down below here. You can grab onto this little line here. We can drag it down a little bit. So let's go ahead and just squash the volume just a little bit here, like so. Now we can get a better look at the price action. If you wish to add an indicator to the chart, you'd come up over here beside your time frames. You'll see a little icon where it says technical indicator. Give that a click. Then you'll get a little pop-up window here that'll be showing you some basic indicators that TradingView has to offer. If there's something specific that you're looking for, such as a relative strength index, we could type it into the search bar. We'll go ahead and just type in RSI. Now, as you can see, relative strength index came up down below. We'll go ahead and give that a click, close this out. And as you can see, I just added the RSI to the bottom of the chart. If at any point I want to remove that, I just come over here and click on this little X, and it's gone. By default, Binance has likely added some moving averages to your chart, and that's these little lines right here. And that's showing you the average price movement over a selected amount of candles. For example, if we come up over here to the top left-hand side of the chart, you can see that we have a 7-period moving average. So that's showing us the average price movement over the last 7 candles. Below that, we have a 25 moving average. That's showing us the average price movement over the last 25 candles. When price action breaks up above all 3, it's generally bullish. When it breaks down below all 3, it's generally bearish. If you find the moving averages distracting, you can close them out by coming up over here and click the little X to get rid of them. Or you can hide them by clicking on those little eye icons like so. If you want to change the settings of the moving average, you can click on this little cog wheel here that says settings. And here's where you can adjust the inputs, style, and visibility of the moving averages. For example, let's imagine that we want to change the length of this from 7 candles to 10 candles. We could type that in there. And let's go ahead and change the style. We'll click on style and we'll change the color of it. So we'll click right here and we'll select red from this color palette. You'll notice when I close this out by clicking on OK, that we've changed this moving average to a 10, and we can see that it's now marked out in red on the chart. So if you have a preference for moving averages, that's how you can change the settings. For this tutorial, I'll go ahead and just hide all these. When it comes to charting and technical analysis, I like to use TradingView directly, and usually I have it open on another monitor. I'll quickly drag it into frame here. By using TradingView, I get access to way more data, indicators, settings, and tools. I can also view other crypto exchanges, asset classes, and Forex currencies. TradingView does have a free basic version that anyone can use for as long as they want. And if you're more serious about your trading, you can always take advantage of a free 30-day trial of one of their paid subscriptions. This gives you an excellent opportunity to try the platform and make an informed decision if TradingView is a good fit for you. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a link for TradingView in the description of this video, as well as in the pinned comment down below. I also have a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to set up and use TradingView. So I'll leave a link for that video down below in the description for anyone that might find that helpful. So if you don't have TradingView already, certainly feel free to check it out. And next to the chart is where we'll find our order book. And the order book is showing us where market participants have placed their orders by executing limit orders. These market participants are referred to as market makers because they're providing liquidity to the order book by using limit orders versus removing liquidity from the order book by executing market orders. On the top side of the order book in red, we have what's known as the asks. These are the price points that market makers have placed their sell orders at. On the bottom side in green, we have what's known as the bids. These are the price points that market makers have placed their buy orders at. And in the middle of the order book, we have the mid price that the asset is currently trading at. So all the asks up above will be greater than this price here, and all the bids down below will be less than this price. When a trader comes along and executes a market order, they're matched up with the best available price from the order book, and that trade can be viewable down here in the trades panel. Inside the trades panel is where we can see successful trades executing in real time. All the sells come in as red and all the buys come in as green. In the price column, we can see the price point that successful trade was executed at. In the amount column, we can see the amount of the asset that was traded. And in the time column, we can see the time that that trade went through at. And up here at the top right is where we'll find the order panel, where we can go long or short using limit orders, market orders, and we can set stop losses as well. At the top of the order panel is where we can choose our margin mode, as well as the amount of leverage that we're using, and more on that shortly. And right down here, you'll notice that the order panel is set to GTC. This stands for good till canceled. So if you place a limit order with that selected, the limit order will sit on the order book until it either fills or you manually cancel it. If we click on GTC, you'll notice that there's IOC. That stands for immediate or cancel. So the order fills immediately or it's canceled. Below that, you have fill or kill. This means if price action reaches your limit entry and the order only partially fills, the whole thing will be canceled. It's either fill the entire order or kill it. And over here, just above the chart, is where you'll find your funding rate. And I do like to pay attention to this. Currently, you can see a positive funding rate of 0.01%. This means that longs are paying shorts the funding rate to hold their positions. If you ever see a negative funding rate, that means shorts are paying longs the funding rate to hold their positions. And right next to it, you'll see a countdown timer to the next funding period. So always a good idea to pay attention to this, as it does have the potential to fluctuate quite a bit. And if you're holding really large positions, the funding rate can begin to eat into your profits. To adjust your margin mode, as well as the amount of leverage you're using, you'd come up to the top of your order panel, and you can see that we're currently set to cross. In a nutshell, this means that Binance will use your entire account balance as collateral across all your positions. So if you get liquidated, you will lose your entire account balance. A lot of traders will switch to isolated margin mode, and to do that, you'd click on cross and you'll get a little pop-up window, as well as a couple brief descriptions of the margin modes right here. So certainly give that a read through. If you want to switch to isolated, you just click right here on isolated. Now that we've selected isolated margin mode, this means that only what we put into that position will be used as collateral. So if we get liquidated, we'll lose that position versus our entire account balance if we were on cross, unless you put your entire account balance into an isolated position, which not too many traders will do that. Typically, a trader has a strategy and will allocate small percentages of their available balance into any particular situation. Now that we've selected isolated, we'll go ahead and just click on confirm. And when we come back to the order panel, you can see that we're now set on isolated. Next, we need to choose the amount of leverage that we wish to trade with. You can see in this case here, next to isolated, it says 20x. In my opinion, this is an extremely high amount of leverage and very risky. Crypto is already a high-risk asset class with big volatile price swings. Using 20x leverage could very easily get you liquidated. That's not to say that there isn't successful traders that do use higher amounts of leverage, but they likely have a very defined trading strategy that they've back-tested over several sample sizes. For the average crypto trader, 20x leverage is going to get you liquidated faster than a fart in a hurricane. Be very, very careful with leverage. To change the amount of leverage, just click right here on the 20x. And here's where we can change the amount of leverage we're using. We can use a slider bar right here, or we can put in a custom amount. So let's go ahead and do 2x. And then we'll click on confirm. When we come back to the order panel, you can see that we've adjusted the leverage to 2x. This means if I put 100 BUSD into a position, that position value would be 200 BUSD. If I switch that to 5x, my 100 BUSD would have a value of 500 BUSD. So the benefit to that is obvious. It can maximize my gains, and it can also free up the remainder of my capital to go into other positions. On the downside, it can also maximize my losses or get me completely liquidated. So certainly worth considering when choosing the amount of leverage you wish to use. First up, we have a limit order, and a limit order gives us the opportunity to be a bit more strategic by choosing a price point that we wish to enter long or a price point that we wish to enter short. You'll also save on fees by using a limit order, and that's because you're going to be placing this order onto the order book for all to see. So in other words, you're providing liquidity to the order book. The first step is making sure the order panel is toggled to limit. And next, we need to choose a price point that we wish to enter a position at. So let's head on over here to the chart, and we'll imagine that we're looking at this through the lens of a bull. We see that Bitcoin's been making some excellent moves to the upside lately, and perhaps we want to try to find a long entry. Maybe we're thinking to ourselves that Bitcoin's going to have a short-term pullback before trying its next leg to the upside. Maybe somewhere down to this price action right in here. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'll go ahead and grab a horizontal for my drawing tools, and I'll go ahead and mark that area out, something like this. Good enough for this demonstration. Perhaps we believe that Bitcoin's going to pull back somewhere down to this area here, and we want to try to enter a long position. So we can see on the y-axis of the chart that there's a price point correlating to that horizontal at 21,405. So we'll come up here to the order panel and we'll type that into price, 21,405. Next, we need to choose the size of the position we wish to enter if price action reaches our limit price. So we'll come down to this box right here and we'll type that in. And typically what I like to do here is click where it says BTC, and I like to toggle this box to BUSD. If I'm trading Tether, I'll usually toggle it over to USDT. You'll be able to see your available balance right up above here, so you'll know exactly what you're working with. So you can type in a custom amount to enter the trade with, or you can use this slider bar to allocate a certain percentage of your available funds into that position. For the purposes of demonstration, I'll just go ahead and type a custom amount in. You can also set a take profit as well as a stop loss while placing this order. To do that, you'd come down here and you'd click this little box where it says TPSL. In the take profit box, you type in the price point that you wish to take profit. So for an example, I'll just go ahead and put in 25,000. And in this box here, you type in the price point where you wish to set your stop loss. So if we come back over here to the chart, maybe we want to try setting our stop loss somewhere down below this wick right here. Maybe we think if price action is to retrace and start taking out this area here, that it becomes probable that price action just simply continues to the downside. So maybe that's an appropriate area to manage our risk. For the purposes of demonstration, I'll go ahead and mark that out with a horizontal, and I'll place it on that wick, maybe something like this. Now we can see on the y-axis of the chart, there's a price point correlating to that wick at 20,406. So let's type in a price point slightly lower than that in the stop loss box. Let's go 20,350. That way, we're giving it a little bit of room to breathe. Once you have the order set up the way that you want it, you just simply click on Buy Long. Now we've placed that order onto the order book, and it'll stay on the order book until we cancel it. If we come down over here next to positions, you'll see where it says Open Orders. If you give that a click, here's where you can see the details of the order you just placed on the order book. If price action is to retrace from here and it comes down to our entry level, this order will fill into a long position, and then we'll be looking for price action to bounce to the upside. If price action continues to the downside, we'll be stopped out of our trade at this level right here. If at any point you want to cancel this order, just come down to your open orders, and over here on the right hand side, you'll see a trash icon. Give it a click. That limit buy order is canceled. You can also use limit orders to enter short positions. So let's come back up to the chart. Now let's imagine that we're viewing this through the lens of a bear. Sure, Bitcoin's had a really nice move to the upside, but maybe we think this move is played out and Bitcoin's getting ready to move back to the downside. And perhaps we want to try to put a short position, maybe somewhere up around this little pivot point right here. So for demonstration, I'll go ahead and grab a horizontal here from the tools. I'll go ahead and mark that area out, something like this. Now we can see the price point on the y-axis of the chart coming in at 23,357. So we'll come back over here to the order panel and we'll type that in, 23,357. Now we'll choose the size of the position we wish to enter if price action reaches our entry point. And for this demonstration, I'll just use the slider bar and I'll slide that up to 50%. Then we can set up our take profit and stop loss. And this time, let's imagine that we're targeting this horizontal here as our take profit zone. So we'll go ahead and type this price point in to take profit. 21,405. Next, we'll set our stop loss, and maybe we want to manage risk somewhere off of this wick right here. Perhaps we're thinking to ourselves, if price action keeps going, gets past this wick, maybe it's becoming more probable at that point that price action is just simply going to continue to the upside. So I'll go ahead and mark that wick with a horizontal like so. Now we can see the price point here at 23,834, and we'll go slightly higher than that. So let's go 23,900. Once you have your order set up the way that you want it, you'd come down here and click on sell short. And now we've placed that order onto the order book. If price action is to come up to our entry point and hit this level here, our short order will be filled, and we'll need price action to go down to this level here before it hits our take profit at 21,405. If price action gets up to our entry and continues to the upside, we'll be stopped out at a loss before any more major damage can be done. Of course, we can view the details of our order down here under open orders. And if at any point in time you want to cancel it, you'd come over here on the right hand side and click the trash icon. So as you can see, you can be a little bit more strategic when executing limit orders. With a little bit of patience, sometimes you can get better entries and save on fees. But there are some considerations. You do need price action to cooperate. So in our buying scenario, maybe price action just takes off to the upside from here, and our order down here doesn't fill because price action didn't bother to retrace to our order level. Or maybe price action does retrace, our order fills, but then it continues to the downside. In this particular situation, we'd be getting stopped out if the trade managed to get below our stop price. In our selling scenario, maybe price action just simply dumps from here. Maybe it doesn't bounce up, our order doesn't fill, and we miss out on the trade to the downside. Or maybe price action explodes to the upside, our order fills, but in this particular situation, we'd be stopped out for a loss in this area here. So it's always a good idea to consider a stop loss. At the end of the day, you'll have to do your own technical analysis, use your own level of creativity when deciding if a limit order is going to be appropriate for you. But that's how you get that done. To place a market order, come back to your order panel and toggle from limit over to market. Market orders are really easy to place, and they'll execute immediately at the best available price from the order book. But before placing a market order, it is good to know about slippage. We all know that cryptocurrency can get moving very quickly, whether that's to the upside or the downside. If Bitcoin was to start waterfalling to the downside right here, it'd be chewing up all the bids in the order book really fast. If Bitcoin starts to melt to the upside, it'll be chewing up all the asks in the order book. Remember, this order will execute immediately at the best available price. So if price is moving really fast, you may not get the price point that you intended. This means you could be starting out a position in a slight loss. Typically, slippage isn't a big issue unless the markets are extremely volatile. Another way slippage could affect you is if you yourself are trading with large sums of money, and perhaps on an altcoin with a thinner order book. If you're fat fingering major long orders or short orders, you yourself will be chewing up that order book. And this will change your average entry price, and it could change your average exit price as well. Once again, usually not a huge issue unless the markets are extremely volatile or the order book's really thin and you're trading with large sums of money. Aside from that, placing a market order is nice and simple. Simply type in the amount that you wish to go long or short with. I'll go ahead and just type in 30 here. Then choose if you're going to be going long, you'd click on buy long, and if you're going short, you'd click on sell short. I'll go ahead and just click on buy long. That order filled immediately at the best available price from the order book. Now we can see our open position if we come over here and click on the positions tab. Here's where we can see the details and manage this position. So in this case here, we can see the size of my position. We can see the entry price that I got when I executed the market order. We can see the current mark price. Here's where we can see our estimated liquidation price. So if price action got down to 11,578, this position would be liquidated. And here's another good tip with leverage. The more leverage that you use, the closer your liquidation price is going to be to your entry price. So another good consideration when choosing the amount of leverage you wish to use. Over here, we can see the unrealized P&L. And next to that, we're able to close this position manually by clicking on market, or you can close the position by clicking on limit. If you wish to add a take profit as well as a stop loss to an already open position, you'd come over here to this little pencil icon and give it a click. Then you'll get a little pop-up window where you can type in your take profit level as well as your stop loss. For demonstration, let's just imagine we're targeting 25,000. I'll type that in like so. Now Binance is estimating our P&L. If price action is to reach up to 25,000, we'd be earning $1.93 BUSD in this particular situation. And let's just imagine that we have a stop loss at 22,000. Now Binance is estimating how much we'll be losing if our stop loss gets hit. Once you have that set up the way that you want it, you just simply click on confirm. And as you can see, we've now added our take profit level of 25,000 and our stop loss of 22,000. I'm going to go ahead and manually close this trade by clicking on the market option here. And as you can see, I immediately closed that position at the best available price from the order book. And there you have it, your introduction to trading on the Binance Futures Exchange. If you got some value out of that video, don't forget to leave me a like and hit subscribe. Also, feel free to check out some of my other Binance tutorials, which I've put together for you in a playlist on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.